Better find some cover, bro. Oh, these guys don't die. The metaphor in this is crazy too because they're moving uphill as our story is moving uphill as well. I love how the camera shakes every time you hit someone too. That's pretty cool. I love how they bring you into the world with a cold open. Cold open is so important in any kind of storytelling because, especially nowadays with like TikTok and Instagram, you got to grab people's attention like that. What a cold open allows you to do in a world of gaming or filmmaking is it allows you to get the viewer like that with something crazy, something insane going on that makes you want to watch the rest of what's going on. They snapped on this cold open, by the way. Oh, yeah, so with a lot of these moving parts going on in this scene right here, including the waves, including the actual elements of the storm, it would pretty much be impossible to keep our actors safe and do a long shot like this. You would have to use a lot of cuts. You'd probably have to be in some type of controlled water environment with blue screen or green screen going on. So in a scene like this, there'd probably be about 20 to 30 cuts at the minimum in order to achieve the same feeling of this one take that's happening in the game. Oh! It's really cool in this cold open too because this is how they're teaching you how to play the game. So they're using an element of storytelling to introduce you to the gameplay and how to play this game. I think that's really cool. Got him. Bro, Doug. Got him. Oh.
Head straight to the island.
I love how the lightning is lighting the island and showing you where to go. Just little subtle things like lightning, just quick flashes, give you enough information to lead you on the right path. Now we're cutting back to a flashback and we're going to introduce who Nathan is. Challenges of working with a child actor. Going back to the short film that I wrote and directed a couple years ago entitled Mama, I worked with a very talented child actor by the name of Riley Locke. You can check him out on a couple of Apple TV shows actually. But the challenges I had were that in order to bring out the best performance of a child, you really have to take your mind to that place of being a child. As an artist, we're always trying to create the coolest, dopest things, but are we trying to create it for our adult selves or are we trying to create it for our inner child? We all have an inner child, so as a director, when you're working with these children, it's important to bring that out. There's rules like kids have to go to school Monday through Friday, even if they're working, so you have to have budget to pay for an on-set teacher. Kids also can't work a certain amount of hours at a time, so they have to have long breaks, or you have a small window that you can work with a child actor. So there's a lot of variables and things that are in place in live action to protect children because, they're the future. You got to protect them and make sure that they're okay, they're safe, and they're comfortable. You have to create a safe space for them to be able to do their thing.
Ooh, you gotta learn to watch your back.
Let's find out who Sam is, y'all. So Nathan really looks up to his brother Sam, even though people talk bad about him. There's a relationship, there's a connection there that has to be protected, and that's what got Nathan in trouble. I love this over-the-shoulder coverage and how the camera is constantly finding angles that allow us to connect with the eyes. And if you see in each of their eyes, there's an eye light, there's a twinkle. That twinkle can provide so many different things depending on the story, whether it's hope, whether it's inspiration, whether it's an innocence that's in their eyes. And that's what we're really connecting to in this story, and in this part of the story in particular.
If you're saying this just to make me feel better,
I swear to God.
There's that slow pushing again as we're getting into the motivation of this scene. Camera slowly pushing in as the anticipation raises. And here we go. And this is Nathan present time. I think the dialogue for that scene was really strong in the sense that it gave you an entire backstory within the matter of minutes. We know that his parents are no longer around. We know that they're in an orphanage. We know that Sam is a quote-unquote bad influence for Nathan. We know that Sam only comes around when he needs something or wants something, or Nathan said it perfectly, wants to make up for something. So there's all of these things that are being said to create the backstory for our characters and for our world within a matter of minutes. That dialogue is well written. And now they're showing you how to play the game still. Their story. We're in some kind of prison. He's in a prison fight. Oh!
Looking at it. Have fun.
I will.
There's no hope. He's in solitude. One light from underneath the door that's lighting the scene shows you all the detail you need to see. He's sitting in the direct path of the light.
Get up.
Don't know who he's talking to. We just know he's security and he's in power because we're looking up to him. The fighting in this is pretty interesting. It's it's not fluid. It's a lot of like power punches. There's not really much technique to it. I just thought that was interesting. In a film or a story or in a game, they have what's called score. What score does is it basically takes you through the entire story with sounds, with tones, with music. So at any points of playing the soundtrack, if you know the story, you'll know what's happening at that moment without actually playing the game. I love how the camera shakes every time you hit someone too. That's pretty cool. Camera shakes again. Bow. I love how they set it up in the story too, where there's three of them, three of our protagonists, which I'm guessing are Sam, Nathan, and I don't remember I forgot who the third character's name is, but it's three of them against five of our antagonists. And in a real life situation, you're gonna probably take an L when you're outnumbered. But the beauty about storytelling is you want to know how they do it, and that's what we're figuring out right now.
Hey, look, it's worthless.
That must be Sam. The dialogue is so great. They have your comedic relief, you have your suspense, you have your story. Everything is great to continue the scene. I love this game.
And if you ever cross me,
Oh! So now we're in the story. We gotta get up out of here. They're in a prison. They're surrounded by guards that know that they're trying to escape. The warden, he's dead. They killed him. All the stakes are against them. Let's find out how they get out. Perfect.
no!
No. Damn, Sam. We feel the empathy for Nate's character. So the movement in this game in general, I don't think it's the most fluid. I don't think the graphics are necessarily the best in this game. But what makes this game so good is the voice acting and the ability to really make you fall in love with these characters. I would say that this game lacks a little bit though in the movement and the cinematic lighting that we're so spoiled with now. That insert shot showed us exactly where we're going. Bring us into the vehicle, and now we're driving. As the main character, we're driving. The way that they showed us that was by the insert of the keys and the insert of the stick shift. It all means something. Everything they're doing means something.
It makes sense. You need lookouts.
As we're driving, we're also getting the story and understanding what we're driving into. They always use these moments of immersive, what I call immersive technology, where they're immersing the audience into the world by us driving, but there's also dialogue constantly going on to show us where we're going. Yeah, so this game is full of suspense and adventure, but what makes it so fun to us is, I think, the dialogue and the jokes that they're inserting in. If you go back to the Indiana Jones saga, we love those stories and we love those movies because of how immense and massive the journey was, but how a sudden joke or a subtle joke could bring you right back to reality.
A little warning.
Man, this car got amazing suspension, I know that much. I need suspension like that. The metaphor in this is crazy too, because they're moving uphill as our story is moving uphill as well. So it's a metaphor in all of this creation. It's pretty cool.
Bark stripped away. Something was
giving you a clue of how to handle this situation. Usually when people see things, again, they don't necessarily say, oh, a computer, I wonder if it turns on. They think it. But in movies and storytelling, our protagonist usually has to say it in order for us to understand the logic of what's going on. As humans, we internalize what's going on in these worlds as them thinking it, but we never think, oh, why is he saying that? It's just a part of storytelling. I love how they're asking questions, trying to figure it out too, through the dialogue. We only know as much as our characters know, and we're figuring it out together. We're a big team, y'all. that was a cool move. In a live action setting, this scene is, in a practical standpoint, is nearly impossible. Most of the time, what they would do is they would create some type of rock facade in a soundstage. They'd bring a Jeep in, they'd attach the Jeep to the rock facade, and they would be either in a blue room or a green room with all this stuff going on. From there, they can control all of the elements. So if they want to do a one take and put it on a robot arm, they can move the camera wherever they want. All the stuff later, like the sky, the rocks falling, all that stuff comes later because we don't, again, want to put our actors in danger. We get the performances and we add all the stuff later. This landscape is vast, it's massive. This world is insane. I think that this landscape is larger than life to make our characters feel small. They're on a journey essentially that is bigger than them, bigger than our three main characters in this vast and massive world with cliffs and dangerous obstacles around them. You know, all the odds are stacked against them just based on their environment, and they have to figure out a way to navigate through it. This scene right here is a perfect example of the elements getting in the way. They couldn't get the Jeep up. They finally figured it out. You know, a rock fell off and threw everything off, and they somehow were able to get through all those obstacles. If you guys go on YouTube, you can YouTube like Jumanji behind the scenes. You'll see a scene where it's like The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and they're on a bridge in this blue room, and they all have wires to them, and literally they're just running maybe a couple feet above the ground with wires, and every time they jump, the wires will pull them. And then when you see the movie, you'll see that they're in like this huge ravine and rocks are falling and bridges are everywhere, but it's literally just a simple set with just a bridge in a blue room. When approaching a scene in filmmaking, it's very important to understand where your main characters are in the story. Well, in this entire game, we're seeing the world from Nathan's perspective. So it's important to see where Nathan's eyes go. We need to be able to see what he's actually seeing. Sullivan's perspective and Sam's perspective don't necessarily matter or mean as much because we're seeing this world through Nathan's lens. So when he points out things in these story-esque elements, you'll see that there's like a POV shot of an insert to really explain to the viewer what he's seeing.
You didn't start smoking cigarettes by any chance, did you?
Looks like we're not the first ones here.
See, from Sam's perspective, it wasn't a POV shot of the cigarette, it was a wide shot. If this was our main character Nate that had seen the cigarette, it would have been a POV shot. The perspective is from Nathan's perspective, so we have to always honor that. Better find some cover, bro. Oh, these guys don't die. You notice too when you're zooming in on the shooting, it's always from his perspective as well. So it's a wide, and then it's like an over the shoulder because we're still seeing the world from his perspective. Great camera choice. So again, the odds are against this team. There's an entire army they're facing with just three of them. These three men don't have body armor, don't necessarily have the ammunition or the weapons or the game plan to defeat them. It's up to whoever's playing this game to figure it out. That's how you keep the audience intrigued. If this was an easy walkthrough kind of victory, you get bored fast.
Jesus. Is that all of them?
And now the music stops because this fight is over.
They figured out the towers too.
POV shot from Nathan's perspective. When Sam picked it up, we didn't see it until it hit Nathan's hands. This dialogue is basically showing you how impossible this journey is against this army. With our boy Nate, you gotta figure it out. There's a fear that we may never see Sam again. Nathan has lost his brother before, and he doesn't want to lose him again, but he's not gonna say that in the dialogue. Imagine how cheesy it would have been if Nathan would have been like, "Oh my gosh, Sam, like, please, like, don't leave, like, we gotta stay together because I can't lose you again." You would have been like, "Bro, this is cheesy." With a game like Uncharted, I think that they mastered art of adventure. I don't think necessarily it's the best game graphically, visually, or even cinematically, but Uncharted really plays to that adventurism and that journey-esque inner child that we all have. And the way that they brought us into the story through the eyes of a child and through the eyes of understanding the dynamic between him and his older brother is brilliant. Alright guys, that's a wrap on one of my favorite game series, Uncharted. I love it, love the movie. I know that's a hot topic, but haters are gonna hate. For more experts react, follow Gamology on Facebook and YouTube. For more of me, you can follow me on Instagram at William E. Rouse, or you can hit me up on my website, which is hiimwill.com. Also have a YouTube channel that I'm working on, so I'll be commenting below. Let's chat, let's talk about some video games or something. Alright guys, see you next time. We out. Alright guys, that's a wrap on Uncharted, and then, okay, guys, can we pause real quick? Sorry, I just gotta open this door real quick. I'll do it one more time though. Yep, I'll do it one more time though.